Podluck.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dane. All right. So it says, Doctor Strange 2 fans think that the movie should have just been called a Scarlet Witch movie. And they're right. It should have actually been called a Scarlet Witch movie.
That's an awesome character in like lore. Like she's like super powerful in the Marvel universe.
Yep. So it says, this article contains spoilers for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. These two have not seen it. Do you have any intention to see it? I can skip around.
No.
Okay. All right. So basically what happens is this movie ended up being, it's a Doctor Strange movie that became basically 1/4 Doctor Strange, 1/4 America Chavez, and 1/4 Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch.
They just keep flipping back and forth.
Scarlet Witch's storyline is she's on screen with the other actors far less than America Chavez is, who's on screen with Doctor Strange far more. But in my opinion, when we gave our review for this movie, I said that Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch stole the show. So I wonder why they didn't just make a Scarlet Witch movie, which could have been very, very interesting coming off of WandaVision. But, people were saying, like, do they just not have faith in their female characters?
I have a theory. Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
This is a character that needs setup, right? Because like for a Scarlet Witch movie to land, you really need to get how powerful she is. And with like Miss Marvel, they had this issue where she was just like omnipowerful from the beginning. And everyone was like, get out. Like why were you doing it anyway? You had no struggle. With her, like she's truly like lore-wise that character. So they need to show her in like in multiple worlds and how, in my opinion, how she's the solution to a lot of the issues just because of her like power level. And now when that's like properly stated, like they can really like focus on like now that you know her.
And they did that with WandaVision, with the show WandaVision.
I kind of want to watch it because I'm not the biggest Marvel fan, but I'm actually a huge Elizabeth Olsen fan.
Do you like Sam Raimi?
Yeah, I like Sam Raimi a lot.
It's PG.
I love Evil Dead. I know, yeah.
It's PG-13 Sam Raimi.
That sounds appealing. Did you guys both like it? I didn't see the review.
She did not like it. I liked it on the provision. I said, if you go into this liking Elizabeth Olsen, you'll like.
I think she's awesome.
She's a fantastic actress. And I said, and one of the reasons that I said this was, I said the reason why her part resonated with me and the rest of it felt vapid and empty was because her story felt very human. It was, it's still a witch who literally created children that are not her children from a reality that wasn't her own. But it's about wanting to be a mother, which resonates with me as like somebody. It's a very it's almost antithetical to what we see pushed on the world now. But it's a woman wanting to be a mother and being so fiercely protective of children that are not even hers because she's deluded herself into thinking that she can make this work.
Wow.
But mainly people are mad because they felt like there wasn't a lot of Doctor Strange in there, and it did feel like Benedict Cumberbatch was kind of sidelined.
He felt like he was sharing his movie with another main character.
And the more hot take oriented people will call it the MCU, and they're right. That's exactly what this feels like between America Chavez and Elizabeth Olsen taking over. But the funny thing is, as much as I love Elizabeth Olsen, I can absolutely tell where the average person will look at this, and Cumberbatch is levels above everybody else as far as actual acting ability. He's a fantastic actor.
I don't like him.
You don't like
something about him bothers me.
Is it the fact that he's British?
No, I wish I had a British accent.
He's not Chris Carr. He's
oh yeah, Chris Carr. Oh,
did you see Imitation Game?
No.
Okay.
No.
I haven't seen this movie of her, but what I can say about her, like she does get the whole tortured side of Scarlet Witch really well because she's like this rose like with thorns that you can't touch.
Yep. So it says, seeing as the marketing tricked us into thinking Wanda was going to be more of an ally or a secondary protagonist, some think this was the wrong approach as it meant we were prepared for a totally different experience. See, they love the idea of subverting your expectations, and they got about a third of the way through the movie where I'm like, are they going to introduce an actual antagonist besides Wanda? Because I was wondering if they were going to try to turn it around for her by the end, which they never, they do not do. And I'm going to keep, so if people are still talking, I'm going to talk a little bit of spoilers, but basically the idea is that she ends up being the bad guy in this movie,
right?
Based off her desire to want to make these kids in an alternate universe, in another part of the multiverse, her own kids, and they kind of have to use that against her at the end to make her see that that's not possible.
Interesting.
But people felt like that they didn't, that everything was misleading, whereas people who have seen the way Marvel is going could see this coming from 5 miles away. I mean, at the very least, I knew that the screen time was going to be heavily divided because they were promoting. If America Chavez's character wasn't going to be that important, they would have cut out the scene that they're talking. They removed a scene from China, banned it, as did Saudi Arabia and all these other countries.
Her seeing her mother's,
her two moms. Yeah, I think that if her appearance had been boiled down to a cameo, they would have never risked those markets for it.
Right.
But since she did play a more important part, and anybody else who has seen where Marvel is going as far as their storytelling could tell that this was happening. The issue I have is that these people are pointing out that it feels like they were tricked. But then there's also this article that I found that says Marvel seems to be making up for pushing aside certain female characters, where they're basically equating to focusing on famous male characters was somehow also bad because you're not focusing on other, it's never enough. Is basically what they're saying, right?
Like this article said, this is the only way that they can right their past wrongs.
They literally refer to it as
by giving the female characters more prominent roles.
Yes.
What happened? Didn't everyone like Wonder Woman?
That's DC.
Is that DC? Oh wow, that's how bad I am.
This is what angers me.
Sorry.
Dude. There's incredible female characters. That's not the issue. The issue is that everything has to be so on the nose because the perception of the audience is that they're so freaking dumb that if everything is not chewed and then put in their mouth and then forced to swallow, it's not acceptable.
No, that's totally it. And that's my problem with so much stuff is it's not only vapid, it's condescending.
Yeah.
You're totally right.
Perfect.
They do point out that the girl power scene from Endgame, which is literally if you want to actually physically vomit from cringing, you can watch the girl power scene from Endgame. You will recoil and run the other direction. It's that bad.
That sounds horrible.
They talk about that being evidence of tokenism with these characters, but when you start selling everything as they're not talking about people love Scarlet Witch because she's overly powerful, and I believe that the other reason, even if people don't put their fingers on it, is that she's telling an emotional story that resonates with the average person.
Right.
When you're selling America Chavez or Kamala Khan, you're selling it on race, gender, and ideological lines, which doesn't actually resonate with living, breathing human beings who are not weirdos. Yep. People do not need to always see themselves in. There's I didn't have somebody to look up to. I'm you didn't look up to your parents. You didn't look you don't need to look exactly like a character. No, and they'll say that, well, that's easy for you to say because you're a straight white male. Oh, yeah. Yes, but that's because you're looking at only their sex, only their race, only their gender, whereas I'm looking at who they were as a person.
Dude,
I look up to Batman because he's or you look up to him, but you can look up to Batman because he took the most traumatic experience in his life and dealt with that trauma in a way that was objectively supposed to help other people. You can question whether he did that well or not, whether he actually did any good, but it's so much deeper than surface level bullshit.
Right.
You should theoretically, if you are a fully fledged human being, what you look like, your race, your gender, your sexual orientation should be the absolute least interesting thing about you.
Yes. This is why I spent almost 10 years in a classroom teaching creative writing and always saying writing and reading are I think superpowers to empathy, because you don't have to read about yourself.
Yeah.
You can learn to love and understand people who are vastly different from you. If you're always, because a lot of the students were much younger and they were getting to be that type of person who needed to only see one type of character. It had to be exactly like them or some marginalized group, but it was but you're only creating this is the word of the day, obviously, vapid characters in your stories, and you're actually doing them a disservice on your page, right? Because you're making them fill all these holes. You're painting by the numbers, which is what this movie sounds like as well, or a lot of Marvel.
Second lowest cinema, which is hilarious because it had an absolutely massive opening, $185 million opening weekend, but has the second lowest MCU cinema score ever. And the audience score in general, when I look at it,
lowest?
I think Captain Marvel could be. No, I'm sorry. I think it'd be Thor: The Dark World. So basically, the idea is that this movie is very by the numbers and plain and boring, and it's still going to make a ton of money, but will it keep people coming back the week after. Narratively, it's messy. It's very messy.
I
and,
understood very little of it,
uh,
admittedly.
the focus on mind-bending reality visual imagery does not lend itself to cohesive storytelling.
Yeah. I
it-
wonder, because there's always like a fine line between healthy confusion in art and just confusion because it doesn't make any
Like we were talking
sense.
about it. Like, is this just on purpose? Like it's disjointed.
I do
to
believe it was on
take
purpose.
you along for the ride or whatever.
To make
but
you
like,
feel confused as they felt confused.
I do believe it was on purpose. I will say this: like somehow this movie made more sense than Eternals. Like Eternals made literally no sense. Like you watch the movie, we left and we were like trying to talk about it. We're like, yeah, but then they get. And I was like, Angelina Jolie was great. That's all. Like the only thing I could come away from it was she still got a whole crap ton of charisma, and all the rest of them were charisma vacuums. So that like at the end, it boils down to like who was the most who had the most screen presence because none of the dialogue helped.
because the story wasn't there.
In this one, Elizabeth Olsen has great screen presence. Benedict Cumberbatch would have had great screen presence if he wasn't nerfed by the writing and the limited screen time that he had in his own movie. And it bugs me because it's going to make all this money. But then, like, do you do a third Doctor Strange movie, or does that one just become America Chavez the movie at that point?
So I want to go hit your point about charisma vacuums because it's a great point. You know how you get there, right? So if there is a void in someone, it's only because something has been inserted in them as well.
Yeah.
And it's because like these people and these actors understand that their role is to represent an archetype and nothing more. They don't want to represent an individual. They don't want to represent an idea. They don't want to represent anything. They're there to represent their stupid ideology that they want to force down everyone's throat. And that's why a bunch of actors and like a bunch of characters, they're so empty. It's because like you're not a character. You are a line that was discussed in a boardroom that what we need. You're a check mark.
That was then checked to make sure it was inoffensive to as many people as possible.
right.
This is why we don't remember this type of stuff, but in terms of superhero stuff, we remember the Joker,
Yeah.
right? Because it's not just a line; it's like someone embodied an individual.
Even that, I think that's because you remember Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan is for the most part allowed to make his movies.
Yeah.
He's not
Well, I was also
hampered
thinking
by.
the Joaquin Phoenix one as well.
See that one, even that one to me felt that resonates with me only because of the hoopla around it in the time period. I don't know if I would have. It felt try hard to me at times, like they
Really?
were like
I
it didn't.
loved it.
Maybe it's because I do have great connection to those specific DC characters.
Yeah.
That it was very plain to me that it was that it was a regular movie that got turned in that's almost boardroom in its own way, that it was a regular movie that for the sake of money was turned into a superhero or a vigilante story for the sake of branding, which is its own level of
I thought it was a great like portrait. As someone who loves to read portraits, if people look at paintings that are portraits, I thought it was like a great portrait, despite knowing that going into it, that it was like Todd Phillips cramming the Joker into something that was probably Jokerless.
I was just watching the original Dark Knight Returns animated movie the other day, where the scene at the end of that, where he shoots Murray in the theater, is based on a scene from that original movie where the Joker gasses an entire theater of like 250 people.
Really?
It's his classic move.
Yes, instead of like he kills everyone it's not him killing the host. He literally kills everyone in the theater.
They die laughing.
And they die laughing. Yeah, exactly. So it's like there's at least homage to the source material played there. But so it made 400. It's projected to make $450 million globally this weekend. So it's like, can we even blame them when we're like, this is stupid and bad, and then they're like, well, we just made $450 million, so we're not going to listen to you. But
they would have anyway. Is what I'm saying.
But the thing is, that same level of empty product doesn't work without that name behind it, which is just a statement on the corporatism of it all.
Like people see Marvel and they just open their mouths.
Yeah, it's the
They
Marvel.
get ready for slop.
The Marvel stands are so weird. Like people who love Marvel, like they have like pictures of Captain Marvel as their
Like intellectually enslaved.
I'll tell you why though. It's because
I agree.
Marvel is a phenomenon, and what's happening right now is that all the things that you used to get made fun of for liking now are cool, and that there's some people who are the harbingers of the lore. Oh my, like just like see her, like she's like breathing. The arbiters of lore, they feel like thus, like in this new societal structure, I am the one that knows the most about Iron Man. So like that's where they belong. And that's
Yeah,
why
but those
they're
people
popular.
don't even love it anymore. Those people love the comics, and the comics are not the movies.
Those
Right.
people.
The Marvel movie fans are the weirdos from Tumblr from like 10 years ago. Those are the people who love the movies.
Right, those people love seeing the movie more than anyone because they can't wait to tell you why you're wrong.
Well, yeah, but those people are at least funny. I enjoy listening to those people rip. Like I have like I collected a little bit when I was a kid. I always felt like I was not a comic book fanatic. I was a normie who has a connection to some of the characters.
Same.
But am by no means am a fanatic or an expert on it. But I am a fan of being faithful and respectful of source material, and I am a fan of people that treat work that came before them. All of these people should be treating these projects as if they're standing on the shoulder of giants, and they very rarely do that.
I'm not so worried about being faithful to the source material, but at least elevating it to something better. Like I love
dangerous.
That you're asking way too much.
I know, but
Yeah.
I loved, like, for instance, Watchmen. That comic I loved, and when I saw the movie, it was trash.
See the TV show.
I like the TV show, although it was injected. I know, it was injected with some ideology.
We allow differing opinions. I mean, they're wrong opinions, but we allow them
Okay,
here.
You put a Trent Reznor score on anything, I'm going to like it. I can't help it.
Okay.
I
Fair
love
enough.
9 Inch Nails, and there was lots of scenes in that show where I was like, ugh, stupid writing. But there are also scenes in that show where I was like, I felt like I was watching one of my favorite directors is David Lynch, who's, he only works to like confuse you. So I like that kind of thing. But it had moments I loved.
Of course, you'd be watching Twin Peaks or something.
I was just about to like say that, but I was like, no, that would be rude. Don't say that.
Be rude, Mary.
You can be rude.
Come on.
This is a
She
safe
is.
space.
I was like,
for
what?
rude.
Do you like Twin Peaks?
Yes, I do.
Did you ever see The Killing?
The Killing, no. But I think you posted about that recently.
I've been doing a thing where this show beats me down so much with crap that I've been taking to making
Wow, Mary.
Instagram. No, not Mary. The media will cover. The celebrities are so awful, and the movies tend to be so derivative and basic, or if not awful,
Yeah.
that I've been taking to my Instagram to like post about stuff that
Yep.
actually like used to excite me, so that I can be like, go and watch this show. It's not.
I appreciate
crap.
it because
Yeah.
the one thing you posted, I put on my list of things to watch. I don't know if it was a Killing or not, but it had the Deftones song that we like.
Ooh,
Oh, that's the following. That's
Following.
yes. That was that's a very good show. James Purefoy's in that. James
Yeah,
Purefoy's
that looks
fantastic.
pretty good.
Did you guys see that Dave Chappelle is guy got out without he's not out yet, but no felony charges.
Justice for Dave Chappelle.
Justice for Juicy. No, justice for Dave. Attacker pleads not guilty, which takes some balls. That's impressive.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Proof? I didn't do it.
Source.
Yeah. He's a source, bro. He's like everyone's like
Citation needed.
yeah, like the sun is like the sky is blue. Source. Yes. The man who charged at Dave Chappelle on stage will have to come up with $30,000 of bail before he gets out of a jail cell. Isaiah Lee made his first appearance in a courtroom on Friday morning to face misdemeanor charges. And then my favorite part is Dave Chappelle isn't really guilty about this, but this is the Hollywood that loves to talk about forgiveness, and they love their activist DAs, and they love the the idea of letting criminals go free, so you end up like Portland or Seattle or something.
Yes.
Or you get LA, right? And they're let off without much to say.
Attacking Dave Chappelle is the new shoplifting.
So yes, so as long as it's $900 worth of attacking or less, you're fine. So it says Dave Chappelle's he's upset. He's angry. Who wouldn't be? It's amazing. Who wouldn't be angry when you get attacked, and then the person who attacks you is just kind of like,
I didn't do it.
I didn't do it, and they're like, okay, misdemeanor charge.
Right. We know from
Okay,
Dave
bye.
Chappelle's specials that if this happened at his house, he would have shot him with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Buckshot, birdshot, buckshot, birdshot.
Yep.
I at least respect that someone is willing to like take their threats and make them real instead of like just being a troll online and saying like, I'm gonna get you, whatever. Like just
What do I do with you, Mary?
but in
Yes.
that case, like just do
Maybe
it, man.
maybe respect isn't the right word, but it's Mary.
intellectually honest.
Mary sees it as a
Hey,
refreshing
you
change
You
of
don't have to
pace.
like the action, but she says, you know what? They said it and they're doing it.
Yeah.
They have
Like don't
gumption.
just sit on your phone.
Haven't you ever?
my
Seriously. Don't just sit on your phone and like tweet about how much you hate Dave Chappelle and
Go tell him in
vague
person.
threats.
Yeah.
Actually go. Like,
I saw Mary's
stand
notes
for
over
what
there.
You believe.
I saw what Mary's writing. It says, "What would Will Smith do?"
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
Hey, don't look at these. We're not supposed to see these.
I saw
Mary, Mary has fantastic handwriting. Very jealous of Mary's handwriting.
It's just sociopathic.
It's very. I was institutionalized.
Yeah, she put out letters from a magazine.
Like,
Laughed way too hard at that.
What did Will's?
like it's very clean, neat handwriting. I'm very jealous.
Yeah,
of
that's
your
awesome.
handwriting.
That's also a dying art.
Yes.
Handwriting.
Oh yeah, my handwriting is awful.
Oh, I write with my feet.
The 48-year-old comedian's lawyer called on the DA to reconsider the charges shortly after Isaiah Lee pleaded not guilty to 4 misdemeanor counts over the. I love the idea that weapon gets you a misdemeanor of any kind. If you can see it on screen,
It's not mine.
it's not.
Didn't have it.
Don't know.
Wow.
Don't know what that is.
Gun with a knife. That sounds stupid. It wouldn't be mine.
But you can't find prints. Yeah.
He's like literally.
A replica gun with a knife on it.
That's stupid. If they find like his like history online, it's like how to make a bayonet. So it says the idea that Lee has a deadly weapon on him, one that was a replica of a handgun that had a knife, that is a violent assault. He added, entertainers in LA need to know that this is a justice system that will protect them. You know what? The regular people in LA might want to know that the justice system is going to protect them too. I'm just saying. There is no question that when someone is violently assaulted by another in possession of a deadly weapon, that should be charged as a felony. Well, not if you're in LA, San Francisco, Portland, or Seattle, or places like that. Then you're just a troubled kid on the wrong path, and they can rehabilitate you.
He was just getting his life together.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah.
have to be a little stabby
Through violence.
to get better. This is my only way to redemption.
It's there was also this is old, but I pulled this up anyway because I'm sorry, it's ghoulish of me, but it made me giggle. It says Dave Chappelle, I spoke to my attacker, calls him homeless guy with leaves in his hair. Like I do like that Chappelle shit talks to the very end. Like,
It's so
like
good.
that he's not gonna like
Doubling and tripling
It's
down
so
on
good.
it.
So it says Dave. So basically, it says that the guy was complaining about gentrification. As he talked about, he says,
What?
as he gets,
That's why he was mad at Dave Chappelle?
He's like,
Dude.
I can't. It might not be in this one. It says Dave said he convinced the Bull security Tuesday night to let him speak to Isaiah Lee before he was taken away. Dave says I needed to talk to him to find out why he attacked. Chappelle says Lee told him that it was about getting attention for his grandmother, who he said had been forced out of her neighborhood because of gentrification.
Lie. He's lying. I think he's a SoundCloud rapper.
He
I
is.
think he put out a song with Chappelle's name,
Yes.
right? Right before this happened?
No, well, in like 2020.
Really?
Like,
He wanted some clout.
Yeah. He had. Well, he also he had he's got friends that are trans, and he felt
What
maybe that
was the intention? Like, if nobody peeled him off and he just thought, like, I'm going to stab
Maybe-
this guy for clout, like, no thoughts.
Maybe, like, it was,
Zero
like,
thoughts.
one
in
of
his
those
brain.
That's what we create these days.
maybe it was like one of those guns where he shoots it and a little flag comes out and
Bang.
says, "Please help my grandmother." Like that's,
That would have been great.
That
Like
would
the
have been.
Joker gun?
That would have been
Yeah,
great.
that would have been fantastic.
He starts, like, pulling a scarf out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Like,
I like, if the media narrative right now in the corporate hellscape was super anti Will Smith, they would draw a direct line from this guy to Will Smith.
Very few people have been willing to do that.
It's ridiculous,
Um,
and I don't even want to say that, but it's still it's a very similar situation.
Yeah, well, all the comedy clubs are now worried about that. They're gonna. I could just see them like, gotta pay
Right.
more for security. No, damn it, that affects
Yeah.
my bottom line. So,
Let them fight.
does anybody here watch Doctor Who?
No,
No Doctor Who
I
fans
used
here?
to.
I'm not that much. of a
Okay,
loser.
so there is they finally got their new doctor, and it literally is Doctor Who the hell is this? I've never heard of this guy.
Never seen or heard of this man.
Nice.
His name is, what was it again? Shuti Gatwa?
I'm surprised
He was
that
in
you
a
were
show-
able to find out how to pronounce
His
that.
name is it's Shuti Gatwa, and he was from a show called Sex Education on Netflix, which, like somebody else pointed out, is just all shows on Netflix, basically. It says, so after a year, I really thought it was going to be the dude from Bridgerton. Or
That show. Oh my god. That's like the next 50 Shades of Grey for old ladies. That's softcore pornography.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, you
Hannah
guys
Claire
need
and I
help.
wanted
I'm
it to
interested.
be Killian Murphy. That's his name.
you
right?
can't
I
give a
love
guy
him.
with
Peaky
dead
Blinders.
eyes. You can't,
No,
I love
stop
that
hating
guy.
on Dead Eyes.
can't make
Why
dead
is he
eyes.
Dead
Dead
Eyes?
Eye right.
He's
Who's Killian Murphy?
Yeah,
The
he sounds so
Scarecrow
familiar.
from Batman.
Oh, he's great. He's Peaky Blinders.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's
Don't you
a
guys?
legend.
Don't you guys think that would make a good Doctor?
I don't even
Doesn't
know who
have
Doctor
dead
Who
eyes.
is, but yes.
He's got dead eyes. He's also about to play Robert J. Oppenheimer in the
Wait,
Nolan
is this
Oppenheimer
dude
movie.
even British?
He
It's Australian.
no.
I don't know.
All that people want is an actual British actor
Thomas Shelby.
and preferably a man.
Yeah, so like
We'll see.
I have no, like I said, I have no connect. Like I don't really care about Doctor Who anymore.
Yeah.
I've long stopped caring about it. But it's at the very least, the guy shows a lot of like in his comments. He talks about how much he loves the franchise and he wants to respect the franchise. He's not talking about identity politics, which is
Right.
encouraged. I mean, it's only been his first announcement, so there's plenty of time to ruin that and start.
Well,
making
sure,
it-
maybe he hasn't, but
But-
it's so contrived and
Right.
predetermined.
Also,
Yep.
Russell T Davies is back in charge of the show,
I don't know who that
and
is.
he's the one who made it. Really
Oh,
good.
okay. So that's a good thing.
So he took it back from Chris Chibnall and basically said that Chibnall fully believes that he's going to ignore all of the retcons, meaning hopefully the Timeless Child storyline gets nixed, and we don't have to have that horrific retcon of where the Doctor comes from. I don't know if that's too much to ask, but
Doubt.
but yeah, press X for doubt. So we'll see who's good. The guy's credits. It's he's gonna be in the Barbie movie with Margot Robbie.
Yeah, he's gonna be like Ken's friend or something.
You-
I don't
yeah.
know.
So I don't
I
know
didn't
who.
even know there was a Barbie movie.
There's going to be a Barbie movie.
Didn't? It's gonna be so good.
Margot
Come on,
Robbie.
Barbie. Let's go.
We should
Barbie.
review that.
They
We're
said
not gonna
that.
have the song.
They said the song won't be in there.
Yeah.
You believe it?
it's
Outta here.
sad.
Why would they even do the movie if you can't use
At
it?
At least
Yeah,
the ending
right?
credits.
You
least.
you would think they would use it for the ending credits.
How do they not get the license to that?
Well, I don't think they want to.
Why?
So the other one that I would have liked was, I don't know if any of you watched iZombie. There was a show called iZombie.
I didn't.
It was based off an obscure Vertigo comic from back in the day. And there's a character in there, and the actor's name is Raoul Coley. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his last name, but he's fantastic. And he's quirky enough. He could have pulled that character off in his stoic moments, stoic in his quirky moments, very quirky. I think he could have done the comedy and the drama bits pretty well, but he was listed on, like, they had the lists of people who they thought would possibly be it. A lot of people thought it was going to be Michael Sheen.
Oh, yeah.
That was never going to
Well,
happen.
if they run out of people to cast, there's a whole lot of old creepy white guys that are getting canceled right now in
Yeah.
Hollywood. They
If
could just
they-
get them.
If they need like
Frank. Get
yeah,
Frank and Bill.
him. Oh no, get Fred Savage and just make get Fred Savage and
Yes.
remake Torchwood when they made that horrible season of Torchwood.
Oh, I didn't see that, but they should do Doctor Who meets the Wonder Years.
They could do that.
If you wait a year, you can get either of you two after you've been canceled.
Yes, that's likely what's going to happen. I wonder if they'll bring back John Barrowman for his role in. Did you ever see Torchwood? He
No.
plays Captain Jack Harkness on the show.
No.
And he's on Torchwood, which was an extremely, like, if you watch it now, like, I never realized how you were talking about Bridgerton being really horny.
Oh my God! It's yeah. Okay.
Torchwood,
Like OD.
Torchwood
like,
Yeah,
was
it's
like
crazy.
really bad.
Torchwood was the original progressive horny show in sci-fi.
I mean,
in,
the
like, 2006.
title alone, guys.
So I would have liked to see John Barrowman come back. He got canceled recently for not canceled. He got basically told like he like used to pull his stuff out
his
on set
Torchwood?
to make people laugh.
It's Torchwood.
Yeah,
That's
basically.
so funny.
Yeah, isn't that like he's like I was just trying to
Like,
make people
okay.
laugh. Like you
They
know,
were crying. Their dog died.
yeah,
I
it's,
had to
Hey
take
man,
it out.
I have a friend just like that. I'll never forget him.
you gotta,
Oh yeah.
perfect. May I never meet him.
You won't. You won't.
So we'll see where that goes. But Doctor, I mean, I don't care about die. A lot of these franchises, the ones I did care about, have been bled dry of me to care.
The thing about
So-
Doctor Who is it's got so many seasons.
Yeah.
So it's like, for me, like I kind of want to have to start at the beginning,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to invest all the time.
No way,
To start
yeah.
back.
The
There's like
old
1,000
seasons are
seasons.
boring.
You don't
they
need to
boring?
watch
Maybe
old.
people will hate me for saying that, but they are.
No. Where would you start if
New Who.
Season 9.
season 9?
Why would they hate
Okay.
you for saying something so brave?
Because she loves David Tennant, I'm sure.
David Tennant came after that.
Matt Smith, or after, yeah, Tennant was season 10.
10, yeah.
You okay? So you're a fan of what?
I forget his name.
It was Matt Smith before him or after?
No, Matt Smith came after David Tennant.
Eccleston.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. It's
I want to shove you both in a locker right now. I swear to God, I want to bully you. For
I'm not a
caring about
huge.
this
I was
shit.
I apologize. I
Oh
liked
my
Doctor Who
God.
in middle school. Sorry.
I was never a huge Who. Like I feel like mine is more like secondhand feeling bad for people who do care. Like that's
Okay, perfect.
like
He's
I'm
just trying not to get
I'm
shot in
an-
a locker.
I'm an empath, and I just feel
Famous last words, Brad.
Good job.
I like anytime somebody says that, I just go nerd.
Oh
Like-
my god. You don't know what you've just done.
It was a joke.
I know, but
I made you laugh.
dude, oh my god, that's my girlfriend's line. I'm an empath, and she's a bread stan, and you just made fun of her. This is the
She
best.
said, wait, she says
episode.
that unironically?
Yeah. Oh, I love her to death. I love you, baby.
Aw.
but she's a bread stan, and like that's her catchphase. So like the fact that you just shat on her indirectly is hilarious.
Dan will be back next week to talk about how it's like being
I'll be
single.
back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, he's gonna hide this episode from her.
Yeah.
He's like,
Sleeping on the couch.
yeah, yep. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.